And we're back again with more questions about FASD. Our first question today is, how do you deal with your kids when they're wanting to do things that they're not ready for? So in the previous video, we discussed a thing called dysmaturity. This is when kids or individuals who are impacted by FASD, when their developmental age doesn't always meet their physical age. So quite often our kids are going to face challenges where they're going to want to do the same activities as their peers, and maybe they're not developmentally ready for that. You have to remember there's no right or wrong answers in the world of FASD, but what I would suggest is to find activities that your kids are ready for. And that's okay. Meet them at that developmental level, put them in activities that they can, maybe their friends are in competitive gymnastics and they do normal gymnastics, or maybe they could go in competitive gymnastics, right? It's meeting them where they're at, finding alternative activities for them to do without making them feel bad as to why they can't do the activities that their peers are doing. Our next question of the day is, what do you do when family and friends don't understand our child and their disability? This can put us in incredibly tough situations when, close friends or family don't understand that our children have a disability because FASD is invisible, right? I said society in general, we're more compassionate and understanding when we see that physical disability versus that invisible disability. As caregivers, we're often seen as enablers. We accommodate too much. If you just parented them better, they wouldn't have the behaviors that they did. You're reflected as a bad parent, and it makes it really, really tough, especially when it's family and friends making those judgments and those calls, or maybe they don't want their child playing with your child. It can go in so many different directions. I think what the thing is, it's not that they are intentionally or purposefully, it's that they don't really understand FASD, and as caregivers, I believe it's our job to educate, and we try as hard as we can to help them understand how our child's been impacted. And unfortunately, in some circumstances, they may not understand and they may not ever come around, and that's something as caregivers we're going to have to deal with and make choices about whether our kids are interacting with those family members. And it's really, really tough. And once again, and I'll keep saying over and over again, please connect with other caregivers who are raising kids with FASD and find relationships there and find comfort in each other's stories, and know that you're absolutely 100% not alone in this journey. And for our final question today, it reads as this: why does every 2 steps forward sometimes feel like 4 steps backwards? This is absolutely such an incredible challenge, and it can be incredibly frustrating in the world of FASD. I know in our house sometimes we can have a good week, we can have 2 good weeks, maybe it's 2 good months, and everything seems to be like it's going smoothly, and then we hit a roadblock or something happens and it feels like we're absolutely 100% going backwards. What I've learned that this is the norm. This is the norm when we're raising kids with an invisible disability. Just to always remember that our children with FASD do have a brain injury, okay? And I compare it to like when we have a bad day. We have bad days all the time. We're human, and we have brains that work how they're supposed to. Our children are having bad days with brains that don't work how they're supposed to. So the biggest thing is to constantly love them, don't give up on them, support them, and understand those bad days aren't intentional. They're not going backwards, to make you more frustrated or whatever it is. It's that they do live with a disability and they are going to go forwards again. We just have to be patient and understanding.